Hey everybody, this is Anthony Young for Anthony Young's Religious Investigations. I wanted to speak on another topic, which is the Muslim faith. I have been going through different religions and different faiths and basically explaining why I chose or chose not to follow them. Now, I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe He is the Savior. I believe that He is the only one who has made it through this mortal life without any sin. And we need someone to represent us because we are all sinful. So these are my opinions and views as to why I chose not to follow certain faiths in my walk. Okay, Muslims is the topic of this discussion. There were a few points that I wanted to mention. I mean, on an average, the news has pretty much scandalized the Muslim faith. And I do not believe that to be a fair assessment because people have demonized Christianity because of all the wars in the past that have resulted because of Christianity. So I do not want to demonize the faith because I do believe that there are good followers and bad followers of any group, whether it's any branch, because Christians have also been labeled, bad because of certain groups that have took the words of God and spun it into their own creation, you know what I mean, and made something pure and beautiful and simple, something complicated and involved in death and blood. So I'm not going to demonize the faith before that. But the reasons why I chose to go against the Muslim faith in my walk to try to find a spiritual place are for these reasons, and I'm going to list them right now. Well, one of the things I ran across was the Shahada. I think I'm pronouncing that right, and forgive me if I'm not. The Shahada, which basically is a phrase that means there is no God but God, and Muhammad is his messenger. First problem, Muhammad seems to be the center point of this faith. Muhammad was a sinner like everybody else was. But with this faith, Muhammad cannot be shown or depicted in any way without terrible repercussions for anyone who does. So, first of all, it's through violence and terror that they try to instill this faith in other people. Then they make Muhammad the focus of the religion and the most important deity. Now, they say Christ was just a prophet. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ was the perfect offering. No one else can do that. Muhammad couldn't do it. Buddha can't do it. The Dalai Lama can't do it. None of them can do it because they're all sinners. Jesus is the only perfect one. So for right there, the religion started off on the wrong foot. I'm sorry. And Jesus was not just a prophet. He was the only one by which we must all be saved. So let me get that out on the floor right now. So, no. I do believe that the prayer, the 5 times a day that they pray, is a very beautiful thing. I think that is very pretty. It's very nice. It's a way to connect back in with the Creator, which is a great thing. You know what I mean? As long as they're doing it for the right reasons. Now, personally, I do not believe that we all worshiping the same God. We are not worshiping all the same God. Some faiths, like the Muslim, I think they put a little more focus on Muhammad than they need to. Jesus should be the focus of all of us because we all need Him in order to obtain paradise and peace. Some who do not believe, they're left to their own resources. Their sins have already taken them away. They're already condemned before they even have a chance to dispute. You can't argue with God. So you can sit down here and say, for 70 years I've lived on this earth, and you have never once tried to show yourself to me. God has shown Himself to us through the creation itself. You cannot take a machine and turn it on without a source of power. So the fact that this planet is spinning and the things continue as they go, there has to be a power source. But to atheists, there's no logical words that's going to convince them. Because they already have it in their heart that there's no God. And it's a major quarrel. It's like, I'm mad at you, so I don't believe you exist. But they're only hurting themselves. So I will not even address this conversation to any atheist. And if you are an atheist and are watching this, why are you watching? If you do not believe, then why waste your time watching? Go find something else. Go check out Ancient Aliens. You might believe that. You might believe the Great Deception that's coming. So, I mean, if you're not a child of God, you're a child of the devil. One of the two. So with that being said, I'll go into the next part. Okay, now in the Quran, they have passages in there that are very reminiscent of the Old Testament, where they're basically things that pertain to that era in time and to those people and to what they, what they're living in that time. So I do not make heads or tails of these quotes because, you know, the Old Testament has them as well. But it says basically that a man can beat his wife if she does not obey. And this is the Quran 4:34. But as you would remember, in the Old Testament, they have the same kind of thing. So that's not really a major factor. But at the same time, I don't think that it's right because even in South Carolina, where I'm at right now, there's a county in South Carolina that has an old law on the books about you can beat your wife on the courthouse steps if she disobeys you. Only on the courthouse steps, but you can beat her on the courthouse steps. Which right now we know would be absolutely atrocious. You don't treat anybody the way you would not want to be treated. You know what I mean? So, you know, you just kind of have to take it for the time period that it's in. Cutting off the hands of someone who steals. The Old Testament has things about that. And even in the Bible it says if the right eye offends thee, pluck it out. It is better to go into heaven with only one eye than to be thrown into hell with both. Which is basically something that tells each person how to morally govern themselves. Because morality doesn't come from us because those times change all the time. We are basically a slave to whatever the world dictates to us. So it's important that our moral focus be something that is beyond this mortal world. That's what decides our morality. Okay, but the Quran, where this is located at, is in the Quran at chapter 5, verse 38. So that one right there is kind of reminiscent of the Old Testament. Now, bigamy. A man is entitled to have 4 wives. This is a work of the flesh. Why would a man need 4 wives when one wife is perfectly sufficient? 4 wives, who knows how many children? No one can be everywhere at once and give all the people in their life everything they need. No one can do that except for God. God is omnipresent. He can be here, there, and everywhere else at the same time. No one else can do that. The devil can't do it, and no man can either. So what would be the point of having 4 wives? So that a man can fill out his lustful desires with 4 different women, while at the same time giving none of them himself completely. It's more of a selfish, male chauvinistic attitude that, okay, all these women are concubines and they all serve me. That's pride, that's lust, and that is not of God. Now this bigamy portion comes out of the Quran 4:3, which is absolutely just so stupid to me. I'm sorry, it's stupid. Like these terrorists or these fringe cults that go off and do these suicide bombings and all this terror that they're enacting. Oh, when they die, they'll get 21 virgins in heaven. Bull. There's no point in that. In heaven, we will not be having sex. So you would not need 21 virgins. Sex is something done down here for procreation and to continue life on earth. In heaven, there will be no sex. So what's the point of having virgins and one man for every 21 women? God made men as well as women, so he is not going to make you have 21 wives in heaven so that you can be the king and have all of these women at your feet. That is not how it works. That is a selfish and lustful thought. And that only comes from the devil and his works. Another reason why I just don't. It doesn't sit with me, and it won't sit with me. And then, okay, now the Quran, that's chapter 4, verse 3. For you, anybody who wants to look it up. I mean, if you really just sit down and look at the points of this book and the faith itself, if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. And this doesn't make sense. It's more of a male. It's like a man wrote this who came up with this faith, basically to justify any actions that he wants to do. And men have been known to do that. I mean, there have been the Holy Scriptures that the Lord has inspired men to write. And then you have these Gnostics who come out with these other stories figuring they can one-up God or that they can elaborate and add to his story. When God is perfect from beginning to end, he needs no help from mankind at all in that area. So there's a few things in this Muslim faith that already sit wrong with me. But in the Quran about the bigamy it's Quran 4:3. Then there's also things in this book about a man can marry a girl who has not yet entered puberty. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. But in the same world, we also say that child molestation and pedophilia is very, very wrong. A child does not have the mental wherewithal to be able to understand the consequences of actions like that. So why would a child that has not entered puberty be married to a man? It's absolutely offensive to the ears, and it would be very much offensive to the eyes, you know. But in the Quran, that is 65:4, chapter 65, verse 4. So already this just doesn't. I mean, come off it. That is not how things are going to work. Everything is going to be so corrected. God's going to fix everything. He's going to fix all of this mess. And a lot of times I used to wonder and question, you know, all this pain and the suffering that goes on in this world, God, is it really going to be worth it? You know, is it really going to be, you know, is all this pain really going to, you know, be worth it for people to have to suffer through? And God's going to make it all right. He's going to wipe every tear from everyone's eyes. But you have to be a child of His. You know, if you are not with God, then you're against God. You can't sit in the middle and say, I'm not on the devil's side and I'm not on God's side. I'm just going to wait and see how it plays out. Because if you're not with Him, you're against Him. You've already made your choice. And if you haven't accepted God, then your choice is made for you. You know? And so the Quran, where it talks about a man can marry a girl out of puberty, is just absolutely disgusting. It's like over there, they just see themselves like the men they want to dominate and just completely belittle the women, like they have no value or no worth. And that is not a godly attribute. That is a selfish point of view. And the only being I know that wants man to corrupt themselves and wants man to be the god of their own lives is the devil, because he knows where he's going. He knows where he's going. So he's going to drag as many with him as he possibly can. So that's my idea on it. Now then there's the one where it says that a woman's word is worth half that of a man. Now mind you, in the Old Testament of the Bible, there are things and, you know, passages that hint to the same sort of, you know, outline that they're drawing with that. And I do believe that was relevant to that time. But as man gets better and tries to better himself and become more loving, there's always that opposing antichrist spirit that tries to create drama. When you're in the right path and you're doing the right things, you will notice that you will find many, many hardships. More hardships than if you decided to just do wrong. And that's because you're on the right path. And the devil has to do everything in his power to steer you away, because at the end of time, when his time comes, he don't want to go there by himself. He wants to take as many as he can with him. And it's under this mass deception. And Ancient Aliens, the TV show on the History Channel, goes at this too. That the devil is basically, he enlightened us and gave us all of these things for us to make our lives better. When obviously it is known that man does not know what is good for you, and what you want and what's good for you are two different things. Take the entertainment industry with the Illuminati and all of this stuff. You have these very, very popular stars who have openly made deals with the devil to get what they want. Bob Dylan has spoke of this on television on 20 or 60 Minutes, where he made a deal with the God of this world. Because as we know, some people love Bob Dylan, but I don't like his voice. His voice does nothing for me. So how in the world did he become so successful and be able to live a luxurious lifestyle off of having little to no talent? He made a deal for it. The devil gives you what you want. God gives you what you need. And mankind is sometimes so foolish to think that what they want is what they need, and it's not the same thing. And so that is the distinction that is being drawn here. And anybody who offers up their soul, you're giving up something eternal for something physical. What, you get 20, 30 years of living high on the hog, and then those same things that you craved and wanted will ultimately be your destruction? The devil knows it's going to destroy you. He knows it's going to destroy you. So hey, why not give you what you want, take your soul, and just wait for you to screw it all up and come to him anyway and die? It's going to happen anyway, so hey, why not? Okay, if I can get his soul by giving him this for 30 years, he's going to die around after 30 years from now. And I'll have his soul. And by giving him this, he's going to basically spread my message to all these people who listen to him. So I'm getting more he's getting more for what he's doing. And in the end result, the devil knows where he's going. But he's still trying to convince man that this is not going to happen. And if you allow yourself to be fooled, he will definitely do it. And he will, if you trust your eyes or your ears, That's the part he's going to appeal to, your eyes and your ears. If you love money, he's going to appeal to you with money because he knows that that's what you treasure. And that's something by him to create this sense of greed and need. It's all with the ultimate end goal of destroying as many as he can. Okay, now this point of view that the Muslims have on fighting non-Muslims, spread the word of the word by sword to all non-believers, infidels or whatever. For one, God is peace and love. Jesus didn't come down here and start killing people who did not agree with his doctrine. He did not sit there and destroy anyone. If anything, while they were destroying him, he forgave them and asked his Father in heaven to do the same. So anybody that says fighting other people and killing other people because they do not abide in your faith is not the work of God. Because Jesus would have did it when he came here. So that's obviously the work of the devil. And then they're waiting on this Mahdi or whatever, their savior, to come at the end of time. I know Jesus already came. The only one we're waiting to see is the Antichrist. So you let me know what other figure is going to come from the spiritual world into the mortal world at this period in time, now that Jesus has already came and left. The only one could be the Antichrist. So there's two polar opposites, and people are trying to decide which one is which. Well, the story of Sarah in the Bible, where she was very, very old and was not going to have, she felt like she wasn't going to have a child, so she let her husband lay with their servant and have a baby. But when the angel came and told her husband that she would be pregnant, once she had her child, Abraham had the other child sent off. So they've been fighting back and forth. This is a sibling rivalry. Oh, mama loved you more, mama loved you more, this, that, and the other. And it's carried on for thousands of years to the point that they're all fighting over this land. And God knows exactly what's happening. God is very aware of everything. And so he will take care of it in his own time. He really will. But any religion that tries to spread their message through violence is basically a cult. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think all Muslims are out there trying to kill everyone. I think there's some people who are sincerely trying to better their walk with God. And honestly, I would say to all of those, look at the points of your faith. The devil is in the details. If certain things do not make sense, they are not true. Because the devil will throw you something that looks on all accounts to be something holy and pure. But he hides his work or the way he twists lies and twists stories. They're hidden way down in the middle of the paragraph so that it would be easily overlooked. You know, he's a master at concealing himself. So you need to look at the points of your faith, not just Muslims, but any religion, Catholic, Buddhist, all of those. Look at who you're worshiping. Look who all the attention is focused to. Catholics, Holy Mary, Mother of Grace, and all that stuff, they're focusing on Mary. Mary was a sinner like we are. Jesus was the perfect sacrifice. So right there, you have a problem. And then the Catholic Church with the Lucifer telescope out in Arizona, pretty much. If you're holy and of God, why would you name anything Lucifer? It doesn't, you know, it's a sleight of hand. You know, you do this with this hand and never mind what this hand's doing back here. You know what I mean? And it's up to each person on their own to look and study and find out what you're following, because your soul is at stake. Eternity is at stake. You can spend it in peace or in suffering. And people say, well, no, we're living in hell right now. No, we're not. No, we're not. I've lived in neighborhoods that were very, very bad compared to just a normal way of life down here. So when you think that your neighborhood, okay, this is bad, trust me, imagine if God was removed from this world and the people of God were removed from this world. So everybody that you came in contact with was a wolf trying to attack you and destroy you. That's what hell's going to be like. But in hell, you will not be able to escape it with death. You're going to be just completely tormented all the time, forever. So if you believe in and you want to find peace, you better look to Jesus for it. If not, you get what you're looking for. You know, you'll find what you're looking for. If you're looking for a reason not to believe, you'll find that too. The table is laid bare so that whatever you want and whatever you're willing to work for, you shall achieve. But just be careful of what you're working for, because what you want is not necessarily what you need. But I wanted to speak on the Muslim faith and basically just give my ideas on it. I believe in Jesus Christ, and for anybody who's trying to find their walk with God, I would ask that you find Jesus turn your life over to Him, ask Him to be your Savior, and buckle down and get ready for what's getting ready to happen, because things are getting ready to move at an astounding pace. It's going to be happening so fast that people will not be able to process one significant big thing after another. But if you have your faith rooted in God, you will be carried through. And with that, I wanted to thank you for spending some time and talking to me. Again, this is Anthony Young with Anthony Young's Religious Investigations. Anybody who wants to question or comment on anything or have me discuss something, you can email me at anthonyLyoung@hotmail.com. 7 Venue is a website. 79 Venue is a website that I have that basically has everything. There'll be some new stuff that will be coming out that will be specifically for purchase only. It will not be free formatted. But there's music on there, the music that I spoke about earlier in this segment. There will be videos, there will be, merchandising, things of that nature that will be available for sale, and I hope you'll check it out. The address will be listed on the screen, but it is www.venue79.wix.com /7venue. I will put all of that here, and there will be links and things of that nature. But I wanted to thank you for checking in with me, and I will see you again real soon for Anthony Young's Religious Investigations.